Satoshi Terremoto's Earth, Sky, and Stone investigates a series of recurring anomalies in the human record. The work does not claim historical certainty, but instead maps the patterns where architecture, memory, and environment appear to intersect across disparate cultures. For thousands of years during the late Pleistocene, early humanity operated within a window of relative environmental stability. While continental ice sheets locked away the world's water, scattered populations navigated a landscape that remained largely unchanged for generations. In this era of stability, human activity began to shift. We see the emergence of organized ceremonial behavior and a sustained, focused observation of the natural world, efforts that required coordination far beyond simple day-to-day survival. This period produced the world's earliest recognized monumental sites. The complexity of these structures invite us to ask who possessed the organizational capacity to build them, and exactly how far back this tradition of engineering truly reaches. Large-scale, planned architecture appearing at this stage challenges the traditional view of human development. It suggests that the capabilities for complex social organization and long-range planning were fully established long before the formal rise of the first city-states. At Göbekli Tepe, massive T-shaped pillars stand as evidence of an advanced technical tradition. These stones were quarried, intricately carved with animal motifs, and positioned in deliberate circles, a logistical feat that required repeatable methods of engineering and mass labor coordination. These methods were not localized. Similar levels of precision, massive stones fitted with tight tolerances and complex polygonal joints, appear in the Andes, Egypt, and the Levant, often exhibiting identical approaches to material control despite vast geographic separation. Many of these structures functioned as functional astronomical instruments. Their corridors and pillars align with precision to solstices, equinoxes, and specific stellar cycles, allowing the movement of light and shadow to serve as a visible record of time. This widespread emphasis on celestial tracking suggests that early societies were monitoring more than just the seasons. They were maintaining a long-term vigil, tracking the heavens to anticipate shifts in the environment that exceeded a single human lifespan. These megaliths functioned as active tools. They were engineered to encode an awareness of environmental cycles into the land itself, ensuring that these essential observations could survive, even as the stability of the Ice Age began to violently collapse. The geological record shows this stability ended violently. The Younger Dryas period brought an abrupt environmental transition, a rapid cooling event that triggered massive glacial melting and catastrophic flooding, shattering the established world of the Pleistocene. Human societies responded with a highly organized retreat. In regions like Anatolia, massive subterranean cities like Derinkuyu were carved directly into the bedrock, multi-level environments designed to support large populations away from the volatile conditions on the surface. The engineering of these cities included sophisticated ventilation, water storage, and defensive planning. Such an undertaking requires significant foresight. It is difficult to reconcile this level of complexity with a purely reactive response to a sudden global crisis. If these populations had no prior awareness of the coming shift, these immense underground networks would have to be planned and executed in the midst of chaos, an alternative that challenges our understanding of prehistoric logistics.
The integrated design of these subterranean systems suggests a pre-planned survival strategy. They were engineered for endurance, representing a deliberate effort to maintain societal continuity through a known cycle of disruption. Forecasting an environmental event of this scale requires data spanning centuries. The question remains how these early societies obtained that perspective, whether through thousands of years of inherited celestial tracking or through a system of knowledge transmission we have yet to fully identify. Across nearly every ancient culture, traditions describe teachers from the sky, figures like the Watchers, the Apkallu, or the Nomo. These recurring accounts emerge independently, yet they describe a consistent role in the human story. These myths follow a structured sequence. Elevated figures arrive during periods of destruction, imparting the foundations of civilization, writing, metallurgy, and social order to the survivors of a great catastrophe.
When mapped against the archaeological record,
The points where these traditions emerge often share the same chronological space as sudden, unexplained leaps in engineering precision and monumental construction. These legends functioned as a redundant cultural archive. By encoding survival protocols and engineering knowledge into storytelling, early humanity ensured that critical information could outlast the physical destruction of their records. As the global climate finally entered the Holocene, human societies returned to the surface. This phase of reconstruction was marked by a slow, organized effort to rebuild upon a landscape that had been permanently altered. Survivors frequently gravitated toward existing remnants. At sites like Baalbek, later civilizations built their cities directly on top of much older, more massive megalithic foundations, repurposing the surviving work of the past to anchor their new world. They re-embedded their knowledge into the earth through stone calendars and symbolic carvings. Spirals at Newgrange and alignments at Nabta Playa reflect a continued effort to track the sun and maintain a reliable framework for social and ritual life. This stratification raises a difficult chronological question. If the surface layers belong to the early historical record, the massive megalithic bases beneath them may represent an architectural tradition that predates the end of the Ice Age. Rebuilding was not a return to zero, but a deliberate continuation. New societies followed ancient blueprints that had been carried through the climate bottleneck, ensuring that the work of the previous age remained functional. History emerges as a series of transitions. Highly organized systems appear, face disruption, and are subsequently rebuilt across immense spans of prehistory. The true origins of these global structures remain unresolved. Determining their age and the methods of their construction requires a continued investigation into the geological and genetic records that sit beneath our traditional timelines. The persistence of this behavior is striking. Geographically separated cultures independently committed to building monuments designed to endure the passage of thousands of years, as if anticipating a future that would need to remember them. The ultimate legacy of these ancient builders is the redundant system itself, the integration of earth, sky, and stone. It remains a unified message of human resilience, left behind to guide and warn whoever followed them.